Hi, hi my dearest crafters and followers, subscribers, my friends and all those out there who are watching my video and who love craft. Hi to you all, this is Lenny here from Lenniskoy, and today I'm here with a project that I've done for Itsy Bitsy using their watercolor floral ballet pattern paper. Okay, with the help of that I've made a mini album that you can see here. Okay, and all the products that I've used are from the store, and I'll take you through the project. Okay, and at the end of the flip through there will be a complete tutorial so that you can recreate this project and try it out, guys. It's very simple, and you can try it and you can either gift it or you can make it for yourself. So the theme that I've used is a wedding theme. You can do it according to your wish, or you need not even use this paper. It's up to you what you have in your stash. You can just play with what you have. All right, so now here on my cover, as you can see, there is a bouquet, and you can see a jar that I've made. Okay, and then if you open this bow, you can take this mason jar out and you can paste the picture of the couple, and so it's like a pocket, and this is like a vase, a flower vase, and then there's a pocket, and then you can put in picture. And then let's go into the album, the first page. Okay, because it's a wedding album, you can see a church here. Okay, these stickers are also from Itsy Bitsy, and you can see a waterfall. So there are room for a lot of pictures in this album. Okay, you can do journaling as well as stick your pictures. Okay, so here you can put in pictures, and this is in this album it's more like a file folder album. So I've just put in few stickers, but then if you want to make another tab, you can actually just print it out according to your wish. So there are pictures spaces here as well. You can just slip in photos over here, and there's a picture space over here as well. Going on to the next page, all these fussy cut images are open on one end, so that means you can just slip in your photos. You don't have to paste them using glue, but if you want to, it's up to you. All right, so the next page, so you can slip in photos. This is magnetized. Okay, you have space for 4x6 photos in these. You can even journal, up to you. Again, photo space, and it's magnetized. Again, you have a lot of space for photos. You can slip in photos here as well. You can put in 4x6 photos. Okay, it's very simple and very elegant. Okay, here also you can put in a small picture and write about the picture, or else you can place a complete you can take the measurement and then make a collage as well with a few small pictures here and there. All right, so this is also magnetized. Again, picture space. All right, here there are pictures spaces for so many different sizes of photos, small and big. All right, it's very easy to recreate as well. Please do follow the tutorial that comes after the flip through. Okay, here as well you can place photos. And here there is a pocket which is magnetized, and there's a lot of space in this. You can either put in pictures, or if you're planning to gift it to someone, you can even leave in a gift or a letter, or anything, up to you. There's quite a lot of space. Okay, and that's the back. This is a spine. I've just made it simple. I didn't want to put in a lot of colors or stickers here, so I just stuck on burlap. And yeah, that's it, guys. Just follow the tutorial and try this out. It's very, very simple, and make it for yourself, or make it and gift it to someone who's special to you, or your friend, or your relatives. All right, so if you like my channel, please do subscribe, and if you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also do not forget to click the bell icon so that you do not miss on any further updates. All right, so please keep watching and try out the tutorial. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the love and support. So for making the file folder mini album, you would require cardstock. So for this I have used few colorful cardstocks, okay, because the theme that I have used is watercolor floral ballet from Itsy Bitsy, and it has a lot of colorful flowers, so I thought I'll use few colorful cardstock. And the tools that you require are envelope punch board with the scoring tool, a paper trimmer, and a scoreboard. If you do not have a paper trimmer, you can either use a paper cutter that comes with a blade. If you do not have a scoreboard, you can actually use a bone folder and just use a scale and score the lines. Okay, so now to start with the project, you need 6 sheets of 8 and 1 by 4 by 11. So I've already cut it, and it's ready to be scored now. So I'm taking the scoreboard and I'm going to score it at 5 and 1 by 4. Okay, so 5 and 1 by 4 on the long side. Okay, and I'm going to fold it, and once you fold, you will get one side that is longer than the other. There is a short side and a long side. Okay, if you do not have a punch board, you can actually skip this step and make it totally equal. You can make you can fold it into half, but because I'm going to use a punch board and make tabs, I'm going to make it that way. So now I'm going to make the tabs, and for that there are 3 tabs: the top tab, bottom tab, and center tab. Okay, now so first I'm going to make the top tab. So I'm placing it at 3 inch and punching it. So once that's punched, I'll shift it towards the right, and there's a speech bubble, and there is a metallic marking there, and then I punch again. So now I've got a tab. So first place it at 3 and punch, and again move it towards the right and then punch again. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the same thing on the shorter side. That is, mark it at 3, punch, and shift it towards the right, and then again punch. Okay, so now we have got the shorter side and the longer side. Sorry. So now what we need to do is we need to cut that the extra. So I'm taking my trimmer and I'm going to cut it off. I'm cutting off the top and the bottom, and I've got a file folder kind of page. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to round the edges. So the envelope punch board already has a corner rounder, so I'm going to round the corners using that. So that has been done. I've got neat rounded corners for my top file folder. Okay, now I'm going to do the bottom file folder. It's just the same measurement. Okay, the only difference is that you need to while making the punch, you need to turn it to the other side. Okay, so I turned it to the other side and I have marked it at 3 and punched. Again, slide it to the right side and punch again. Now I'm taking it to the shorter side, placing it at 3 and punching, and again slide it to the right and punch again. So that has given me the bottom file folder tab. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to cut off the extra, as we have done for the top file folder. So I'm taking the paper trimmer, okay, and I've cut it off. If you do not have a paper trimmer, you can actually cut it off with your scissors. Okay, so my paper trimmer blades need to be changed. So I can get uneven edges now, so it's time for me to change the blades. So I'm just trimming that off with my scissors to make it neat. Now we have cut off the extra, and now we need to round the corners. All right, so you can actually leave it as it is, but just so that it looks a bit better, I'm just rounding the corners. You can actually skip this step as well, no issues. So now that's done. So now we have got the top and the bottom tab. All right, now we are going to make the center tab. Okay, and for that, again, you take the cardstock that you have already cut. Okay, and to make the center tab, you require your punch board, and then place the sheet at 2 and 3 by 4 marking. Okay, and then punch it. Okay, now that's done, and then I turn it around and again place it at 2 and 3 by 4 and punch. So I've got a center tab. Can you see that? Okay, so I'll be doing that the same thing on the shorter side. Place it at 2 and 3 by 4 and punch. Turn it around again, 2 and 3 by 4 and punch. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to cut off the extra on both the sides. So I'm using my paper trimmer for that, and I'm cutting off the extra. Okay, now all that is done. Now what we need to do is we have got 3 tabs now: the top, center and bottom. Oops, I forgot to round the corners. Okay, now I'll just round the corners using the punch board. So round the 4 corners. 4 because it's center tab, and so we need to round 4 corners. For the top and bottom, it's just 2 sides. So I've done that, and now we have the top, center and bottom tab. Okay, so now we are going to make the pockets for the pages, and you require 6 pockets. Okay, and the measurement will be 4 and 1 by 4 by 7 inches. 7 inches. Okay, 4.5 by 7 inches. So I've cut that, and now we need to score it on 3 sides because it's a pocket. Okay, so I'll have to score it half an inch and half an inch on 3 sides, half an inch. Okay, so let's score it. On one side half, turn it around again half an inch, and again half an inch. Okay, so we need to check if the measurement is right by aligning it with our sheet. And now I'm going to give it a border punch, but you can actually skip this step, and if you have a circle punch you can actually give it like a half a circle punch, or you can even leave it as it is, or if you have a decorative scissor you can cut it. So now because I have a decorative punch, I'm using that for the borders, and I'm punching it. So that's done. I've punched the border, and now I'm going to fold on the creases, as in on the score lines. And once that is done, I will be using double-sided tape. And before using double-sided tape, I'm going to trim the edges, because otherwise it will cause a lot of bulk on the pocket. Okay, so I'm just I've cut it, and I'm folding it and I'm creasing the score lines with the help of my bone folder, and I'm checking if the measurement is right. Once that is done, I'm using my red tacky tape, and I'm going to go on those 1/2 inch score lines that I have given. Red tacky tape is really strong, so it's always good to use that. But a tip that I can give you is that I usually like to do that. After using my red tacky tape, I use a bit of wet glue over it, so that it gives me some time to move that piece around. Otherwise, because red tacky tape is very strong, and if you place it on the paper, and if in case you make a mistake, it's very hard to move it, or you'll have to rip the paper off. So if you use wet glue, it will give you some time to move that sheet around. So now I've adhered the pocket, and I have it stuck on really well. So now I'm going to cut pattern paper for the short side, and for that it measures 4 by 8 inches. Okay, and once that is cut, I'm going to punch it using the punch board. So for that, for the top punch, okay, actually the top punch and the bottom punch, the measurements are the same. The only difference is that for the bottom punch you need to reverse it to the other side and then punch. Alright, so I'm going to punch it at 2 by placing it at 2 and 7 by 8, and then punch and slide down, and the bubble, speech bubble, and then again punch. Okay, now I need to cut off the extra. Now I need to cut off the extra. Once that is cut off, I'm going to round the corner. The border, the corner is rounded, and now I need to check whether it's all aligned and the measurement is right. And once that's done, I'm just going to make a small marking with the help of a pencil, because I'm a perfectionist and I don't want to, be wrong after I use my adhesive, and then it's going to be really hard to take it off. So I'm using wet glue now. You should be really careful when you use wet glue. So depending on the thickness of your paper, you can use wet glue if it's thick, and if it's too thin it might bubble up, So this paper that I'm using from Itsy Bitsy is really thick, and it's okay even if you use wet glue. So I've used it and I'm adhering it. It looks perfect. I'm using my bone folder so that it's adhered really well and it doesn't come off. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to select a pattern paper for my pocket. So this measurement actually depends on the border punch that you use. Okay, so depending on mine, I've just taken the measurement and I'm just cutting it. So this might not be the same in your case. So it's just a small strip of paper, and then I have cut it, and I'm going to adhere it to my pocket. You can even leave it as it is because it looks good even that way. You can even leave it blank. So I've applied wet glue even on this because it saves time, red tacky glue, red tacky tape, it takes a lot of time to take off the backing and all that. So I'm using wet glue. Okay, so that's done. It's nice and stuck on really well. Now I'm going to cut paper for the longer side. Okay, and for that I'm going to cut it at 5.5 by 8 inches. Okay, all the measurements that I'm saying are in inches, so that's 5.5 by 8. Okay, and again you need to do the same punching, that is 2 and 7 by 8 on the punch board. Place it on 2 and 7 by 8 and punch. Move it towards the right and punch again. So that's done, and again I'm going to cut off the extra. You can either do this with the help of your trimmer or with your scissors. Okay, so that's done as well. Now what's the step? I think you've got it. Yeah, rounding the corners. So I'm rounding the corner, and then I'm adhering it. As easy as that. So this is the same procedure you need to do for the bottom tab as well. I'll do that and get back to you. Alright? Okay, so now I have adhered the pattern paper to the top file folder. Okay, and now I'll be showing you what all I have done. There are two, if I have not told you in the beginning, there are two of each, as in two top tabs, two middle tabs, and two bottom tabs. Alright, so I have told you the measurements of the bottom and the top. Okay, for pattern paper it's 4 by 8. Okay, and now we are going to do the center tab. Alright, so for the center tab we have to again cut pattern paper at 4 by 8. This is for the short side. Okay, so I'm cutting it at 4 inch by 8 inch. I really don't like to waste my pattern sheets. That's why, if you think why I cut it from middle and all that, I just don't like to waste any sheet. That's why I use this kind of trimmer so that there is no wastage. And now I need to punch to make the tab, and for that I need to place it at 2 and 5 by 8 on the envelope punch board, and then punch, and then again turn it around. Okay, and again place it at 2 and 5 by 8, marking on the envelope punch board, and punch again. Okay, now we have got the center tab. Now what we need to do is we need to cut off the extra, like how we used to do. So now I'm using my paper trimmer to cut off the extra. You can either use it just with a scissor. Okay, so that's done, and once that is done, we need to round the corner. I'm going to round the corners using my envelope punch board. I love using the envelope punch board. It is, a really good tool. You can make a lot of gift bags and boxes for gifting purposes, and you can make envelopes. It's not just for envelopes, you can make a lot of stuff. So now I'm again marking it. You can skip the step, but I usually do that so that I get a perfection while pasting it. And now I'm gluing it. I'm using wet glue because it's easier and doesn't take much time. So as I told you, wet glue, it depends on what kind of paper you use it, otherwise it might be a bit bumpy. Okay, so I'm gonna paste it. And align it, and that's it. It's done. Now we'll go on to the longer side. And now I'm going to cut pattern paper for the longer side, and this measures 5.5 by 8. And now I'm going to punch the tab, the middle tab, so I have to place it at 2 and 5 by 8 on the envelope punch board, and I'm punching it, and again I have turned it around and placed it at 2 and 5 by 8, and I'm punching it. So that makes the center tab. Now to cut off the extra. And that's done as well. Okay, and now we have to round the corner. So that's done. Now we have to glue it. I'm using wet glue. This is a really easy project, guys, so please try it out. Okay, it's very easy, and you can actually use it for any occasion. And if you do not want this tab, just skip that step. And now we are going to do the cover of the album. For that you need 6 chipboard measuring 6 by 8.5, 2 pieces, and 1 piece of 2.5 by 8.5. Okay, and to adhere that to the cardstock, you have to use either red tacky tape or any kind of glue that you have. Red tacky tape would be better. Okay, and when you place these chipboards on the cardstock, please leave some gap between so that it has space to fold. Otherwise it might tear once you've adhered it. So make sure that there is enough space in between each chipboard pieces, and then the cardstock should be at least 1 inch bigger than on all 4 sides. Okay, so I'm just adjusting how it should be laid. I have adhered the pieces of chipboard to the cardstock, and now I'm adhering the sides of the cardstock to the chipboard. I'm rubbing it on the table so that it gives a crisp edge. Okay, so I'm carefully folding it so that it doesn't make any crease. I'm burnishing it really well with the help of my bone folder. The cover of the album is really important, so you need to have a really neat and crisp edge for your album. So take a bit of time and do this step. I'm taking off the backing and I'm pinching the edges with the help of my nail. You can even use your bone folder. Just pinch it in and then rub it on the table so that it gives you a straight corner, and then stick it and burnish it with your bone folder. And now burnish all the sides and corners really well with your bone folder. Make it really crisp and neat. Bend it where you can see the gap. Okay, make sure that the spine is not cracking. So I have cut cardstock at 8 by 4 by 11 for the hinge. Okay, and for the hinge you need to use your scoreboard and then first mark it 1.5 and then 1/2 inch, and then again 1/2 inch, and then 3 by 8, So all these half an inches make will be the fold where the page will be adhered. So there are 6 pages, so accordingly you need to make the half an inches. So that means half an inch, 3 by 8, half an inch, 3 by 8, half an inch, 3 by 8. So there will be a pair of 6 half an inches. Okay, and then on the other side you need to use red tacky tape on the half an inch portions. Okay, and now you need to pinch up the half an inch portion. Okay, and that is where your page will be adhered, like this. So I hope you have understood. So there will be 6, so you can call it like a hill. Each thing that I'm pinching up will be like a hill, so there will be 6 hills, for example. So so that's a third hill. So there will be 6 hills because there are 6 pages. Okay, and the 3 by 8 is the space between each page. So that you can add in embellishments, and that's like a gusset, so that you have some space between the pages. Okay, so I have made folded on all those crease the score lines, and now I'm going to remove the backing of the red tacky tape, so that all those will be adhered. Okay, so I'm removing the first one. I'm gonna burnish it really well, and then that is adhered, and I'm going to use my bone folder and press it down really well, and I'm taking off the second backing. I'm going to adhere that as well. Okay, make sure you keep burnishing all these folds with your bone folder, so that you get really crisp see, keep burnishing it, because all the folds need to be crisp. That's the last backing. Burnish it. Okay, so that's done. Now we need to just make sure there are 6 hills, because there are 6 pages and I don't want to miss out on any of those. So, and I'm just straightening all those really well with my bone folder. And that's done. And I have to stick red tacky tape on the back so that it gets adhered. Okay, so So that's the hinge. Okay, and I have to use red tacky tape as well as wet glue on this, on the back of it, so that it's really stuck on well, because this needs to be really strong, because it's a spine of the album and it needs to, you know, last for a really long time. So make sure that your hinge is really strong and done well. Okay, so I have adhered the hinge to my cover, and next step is to, you know, use tacky tape on those. My little one has woke up from sleep and now you can see her little fingers and hands in between. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I have adhered red tacky tape. Okay, and there she's putting it in her mouth. She's a little naughty one. Okay, so I have to now remove the backing of the red tacky tape slowly and paste the page onto the hinge. Okay, so I'm removing it. I don't want to remove it completely. I'm just taking a portion of it. Okay, and I'll attach it, and you need to align it really well. And then remove the backing slowly, just pull it down. Be very careful when you do this. Yeah, that's done. Okay, use your bone folder and burnish it so that it's stuck on really well, and that's the page. So I'm doing it from back, so that's the last page. My tiny helper wants to do some crafting with me. She was sleeping all this while. I usually do my craft when my daughter sleeps, otherwise she'll never let me do my work. So I'm removing the backing. If you want, you can remove it completely, but you know, I just don't want it to be wonky, so I'm just slowly, yeah, and that's done. Okay, so I've already kind of done with my cover page, so I will put a separate tutorial how to make that flower vase. Okay, it's done with the envelope punch board. I've just, you know, put in some flowers from Itsy Bitsy. Okay, and I've tied a bow, and for the trim, that's also from Itsy Bitsy. I've just, you know, just done that, and it's become like a ruffle, and that's a beautiful lace from Itsy Bitsy, and the flowers and the bow, all that. Okay, so now I'm going to make a waterfall. Okay, and for that you need cardstock. I need to cut it at 5 and 1/4 by 3 and 3/4. Okay, 5 and 1/4 by 3 and 3/4, and I've cut quite a few of them, almost 10 I guess, and I am going to score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, and that will be folded and it will make a waterfall. So it looks really colorful. So that's how it is. It should be adhered, and I'm gonna do the first one for you. You can either use glue or tacky tape. I'm gonna use tacky tape now. Always make sure when you use red tacky tape, burnish it really well, otherwise the backing will not come off easily. It's quite difficult to take it off. And if there's any extra, just push it in. And be careful when align it. It's really sticky, so be very careful. And that's done. Burnish it. So this album can hold a lot of photos. I'm actually going to make it a wedding theme. Okay, so because there are a lot of flowers, and on the front cover it's a bouquet. There comes my little helper again with her teddy bear. She's always around. So I've adhered that as well. I'll make the rest and get back to you. Okay, so that's the inside. I've made the waterfall, and I've also given it a closure. Okay, it's just a small strip of paper, and it's magnetized. I've used magnets. Okay, so now I'm going to make a pocket for the last page. Okay, that is on the cover. All right. For that, you require 2 sheets of cardstock, and the first one should be cut at 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. All right. And you need to score at half an inch, again half an inch. Okay, and turn it around, and again score it at half an inch, and again half an inch. Okay, and then on the longer side you need to score at half an inch and 1/4. Okay, so here the scoring has been done. Okay, and now you need to fold on the score lines. Okay, and for the smaller side, that is the flap of the pocket. Okay, for that you need to cut it at 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. That's 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, and now you need to score it at half inch and 1/4. Alright, so that's been done. Now we'll fold on the scroll lines. Before that, I'll cut off that bit of you know why I'm cutting it off? Because otherwise it will add a lot of bulk while I fold. So I'm gonna cut off the other side as well. Okay, that's done. And now I'm going to fold it like a fan. Okay, so just burnishing it. Again, inside, outside and inside. Okay, so it's like a fan folding. This kind of pocket will give you a lot of space, and you can, you know, put in a lot of pictures, or you can, you know, any kind of, maybe even a small, if you're giving it as a gift, maybe you can put in a small gift in it, like a chain or anything. It holds quite a lot of stuff. It has quite a lot of space in it. The foldings need to be done really carefully. Okay. And burnish on all these folds. And I'm using tacky tape. So I have cut the sides of the folder, okay, the pocket, and I've also used red tacky tape, and I need to align it and see if the measurement is right. Okay, so that's the flap for the closure. Okay, now I'm removing the backing. Be very careful while using red tacky tape, because the adhesive is really strong, and you know, it will stick on really fast. So be very careful while using it. Because if in case it sticks onto the wrong place, you don't get much time to readjust. It will even rip off your paper. So be very careful while, take your time and do it slowly. So all the backing is removed. I will be using wet glue as well. Okay, and now I'm going to place it because I've used wet glue, it will give me some time to move it around, otherwise it will stick on really fast, and then if in case I stick it on the wrong place, it will be very hard. Okay, so that's been stuck on really well, and I'm just closing and seeing if everything can be moved properly and if there is enough space for, you know, the pocket. Now I'm going to burnish it so that it's adhered really well. So one mistake that I feel that I've done here is that I should have used pattern paper before sticking the pocket. Okay, so when you do it, please stick pattern paper and then stick on the pocket. All right. So for the flap, I have actually rounded the corners as well. I'm removing the backing. And I'm going to adhere it. So that's about the basic construction of this album. It's very easy. Okay, so and now if you have to embellish it, you can embellish according to your theme and what you have in your stash. Okay, so please give it a try. It's very easy. You can, it's a very easy gift that you can make for your friends or family. And I will show you the embellishments that I have used soon. Alright, so thank you so much for watching.